So this is going to be part 5 on Laticia Collins, and we're going to discuss the fight she had with her brother. And I noticed that she starts filming. You don't get the whole thing. She starts filming um, when she wants you to see what she wants you to see. We don't get to see everything. What led up to the fight, right? We see her brother yelling at her. Um, she's, when people are filming, when they want it on film, uh, they try to be the calm one. That's kind of a common sense. But she still can't put it back because, she does get irate in this video that she's putting out there. But she's yelling about, I guess her brother smoked a cigarette in the house, and she didn't appreciate that. And so she is really throwing a fit about him smoking, and that's what this argument was about. And she's yelling at her mother and just really throwing an ungodly fit. Now, I kind of get it. She's a non smoker of cigarettes. So she does not like the smell. People that don't smoke, um, they're sensitive to, the smell of cigarettes. And uh, so she's really throwing this fit. But here's the thing. This isn't her home, okay? To get out of jail, she was released in her mother's custody. I do believe that was part of her release, was she had to her mom put up the bond, and I do believe that her dad helped pay for it, uh, because she said in one of her other videos that she sent like $20 and a thank you to her dad. But her mom put up the bond. So if Laticia doesn't show up, it's her mom's butt. And she made that clear. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's her mom's home. Now, there was rumors, and like I said, rumors, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but some people are saying that the home and the land, I don't know if this double wide is on property or if it's in a mobile home park. I have no idea, but there was rumors that it's actually the home is in her brother's name. I don't know, but um, it however it is, her mom's making the payments or whatever. I don't know if her brother helps out. I have no idea because we don't know what to believe. We're only hearing Laticia, sorry, her side of the story. We're not hearing, anything else. So she's saying it's her mom's home, and her mother does mention, this is my home. So she's living at her mom's. We're just going to say her mom's home. And at the time, her mother and her brother are living in this home. And so to be able to get out of jail, she has to go to her mom's. And so it's her mom's rules, right? And if her mom is okay with the brother smoking in the house, then who is Laticia to say any different, right? I mean, you can't expect to come off the streets, being homeless, and especially putting out all these awful videos about your mother, which she has. She says the most horrible things about her mother, and she has made it clear, and you can hear her mother in the background as well, that her mother has been watching these videos. Can you imagine being a mom And like I've said it before, I don't know what is true and what is not true, what happened to her as a child. But can you imagine being a mom and having all, your child saying all these awful things about you, um, accusing you of sexually abusing, your child, um, accusing you of physically and mentally abusing and doing the most horrific things that you could do to a child and putting it out there for the world to hear. And but yet you're still, when your child calls you and says, I'm in jail, I need you to come bail me out, please, and then I need you to let me live in your home. And her mom does it. Her mom drives, and I think it was a couple hours away. She goes to her child that is putting out all this, all these videos that she's watching, and she goes and picks her up and bails her out and brings her into her home. I mean, I can't imagine. Like I said, I don't know what happened in the home when she was a child. None of us do. Could some of it be true? Could all of it be true? We don't know. Because Laticia, in her mind, like I said, it seems like she has all these people. I mean, for one woman to make claims that so many people has sexually assaulted her, stemming from all these family members to all these men to, all these policemen, doctors. It doesn't seem believable when there's just so many out there, right? But her mom does. She does it anyways. I don't know if you love your children unconditionally, right? But I don't know if I could do that if my child was putting out on social media and saying the most horrific things about me. I mean, it's one thing if my child was putting out there that I was just a terrible mother, I didn't pay him any attention, I was this or that, but Laticia is putting out there the most horrendous, like I said, things that you could say about your parent. Things that a parent should be in jail for, for life, if they did these kind of things to them. But anyways, like I said, she went and she got her daughter and brought her in her home, knowing that, my daughter's going to cause some havoc in my home, but I'm going to do it anyways. So anyway, moving on, she throws this ungodly fit over a cigarette. And you can tell that the brother, and she already put out there everything about her brother, being a felon, going to jail. I don't even know what he really went to jail for. I think some people put it out there, but I'm not even sure. She says different things that he went to jail for, or that he is. But he is, yelling. We've seen a couple of videos where he's coming unhinged. And I'm feeling really bad for this mother. She says that her mother is unhinged and does all this and that, but you see her mother, and her name's Gail. She, her name is out there. She puts her name out there. She seems very calm in all these videos. You do not see this woman unhinged, even though both of her children are screaming at each other, and they're grown adults throwing tantrums. And Gail is very calm, and she's an older woman. She's elderly, and you see them just fighting, acting like children in her home. And for some reason, I am just I'm gathering that the brother seems kind of protective of his mother. Okay. Um, I don't know. He may be taking advantage of her, staying there and her paying his way. I don't know. I have no idea. But it seems like the mother does not have an issue uh, with the brother like she does with Laticia. So that's got to say something, okay? Um, and the Gail, she knows that Laticia is filming them all the time, and that's another thing. And putting these videos out there. That's got to be frustrating. I'm letting you live in my home. I bailed you out, and you're putting these videos of us, and I don't want it. I don't want this in my home. And Laticia doesn't care. Those boundaries, she doesn't care about boundaries. She's living in the home, probably for free. Okay, she's getting her disability check. Don't know for sure about that either, so that's just my opinion. She might be helping out or whatever. She might be giving her mother money. Who knows? I don't see where she's saying she is, but she doesn't know any boundaries. These two other people that have been living in the home, they don't want to be filmed because they know that Laticia is saying the most vile things about them and putting it out there for the world. But, she feels entitled to her free speech, and they have asked her, stop filming me, stop doing this, we don't like it. And her free speech says she can do so, in her mind, even though she's staying in their home, at least her mother's home. I'm going to say their home because they're both living there. They're residents there. She is just a guest in the home. So anyways, she is going off on the brother, and Laticia is yelling at her mother. Why aren't you doing something? You need to get him out of this, out of your home. You need to do this. You need to do that. She is telling her mother what she needs to do and what she doesn't need to do in her own home. She has no right to do that. Again, she's a guest, right? She's a guest. She basically got into trouble and she was bailed out. And again, it's over a cigarette. And so she's going towards her before this little fight started. I mean, it's just screaming to begin with. She goes towards her mother a little bit, and her brother steps in. And it looks like to me, I watched it a few times, okay? She says that her brother headbutted her. I did not see that. Now, I did see he kind of done a chest, how do you call it, like a bump? Like he might have bumped into her to keep her, because she was going towards her mother. Like I said, he seems like he's very protective of his mom. And she is like in her mom's, space, and yelling at her mom, you need to get him out, you need to do this, you need to do that. And he did say something like, you need to stay away, and he calls her mommy. They call her mommy. You need to stay away from mommy. And it looks like Laticia goes backwards or whatever into the chair or couch or whatever. And there's like some stuff on the floor. It looked like it was like little dog beds or cat beds or something. I'm not sure. And he said something like, I didn't touch you, you tripped on this or whatever. And you can see Laticia's feet. it did not look like he hit her. It did look like he did take his body and kind of do like a chest bump, I would call it, or kind of used his chest and kind of bumped into her to move her back. Should he have done that? In my opinion, no. Do I think that he hit her? I did not see that. I also did not see no headbutt. But it's kind of hard because of, her, the way she was holding the camera. Now, in that same altercation, she attacks him. It's clear that she pushed him or hit him. You can't see exactly what she did, but you see him kind of fall, or not really fall, but kind of go backwards. And I'm not sure. I think he had some sort of surgery on his collarbone, but she absolutely put her hands on him as well. You can tell by his body movement. So you have two people putting their hands on each other. Well, he didn't put his hands on her. He used his body, but still, a physical altercation between the two. But she absolutely put her hands on him as well. You can tell by his body movement. Now, just in my opinion, he was trying to get her away from his mother and to get her to stop, because she doesn't let up. She does not just say, okay, I don't appreciate this. Can something be done? Let's sit down and talk about this. She did say that it was talked about before she moved in. Could he have just lit up a cigarette and, didn't think about it because maybe it's normal because, he lives in the home. And she's like, well, my mother doesn't smoke. She doesn't allow it. How do you know? You've been out of contact with your mother. You already said for how long? Because she's so awful. Maybe she allowed it since he moved in and said it was okay. Who knows? But again, it's not Laticia's home. It's her mother's, her brother's, her mother's home, whatever. It's not her home, and it's not for her to say if smoking is allowed in the home or not. So, anyways, so she's going on and on. Are you going to, back at her mother? And her brother at one point walks out of the house. And he's like, talking about, yeah, you got that on film. And he's like, you hurt my collarbone or whatever. And Laticia doesn't deny touching him, right? And she's going off on her mother again. You need to get him out of here. You're just going to allow him, to touch a pregnant woman. You're just screaming at her mother. And her mother did say, you instigate a lot of this. You just don't know when to stop. You just keep going. And you can see that. She will just keep going and going and going. She doesn't know how to let it go. Or she doesn't know how to address it and say, hey, I have an issue with this. Like I said, and sit down and talk about it and resolve it. She will just keep going. And she won't let it go. And it just escalates with her mother. And her mother is saying, stop filming me. She's putting her hands up. Stop it. And Laticia is not doing it. And she's calling her mother a bitch. She's disrespecting her mother in her own home. And she's telling her mother, I'm not going to court. And you're going to be the one to, you're going to end up in jail because I'm not going to court. Like I said, her mother bonded her out. So Laticia, if she doesn't go to court, I'm not sure what will happen to her mother if she doesn't show up. But Laticia's mom, Gail, is responsible for that bond because she's the one that put up, the money, and she signed for her to get her out on bond. And Laticia has made it clear over and over that she's not going to show up. She's not going. So, anyways, the brother, he comes back in and he's talking about pot. Again, this is, over pot. They're arguing now over the pot. And he goes in and he's looking. He's like, where is it? And he's yelling at this time. And Laticia is yelling at him about staying out of her stuff. And I guess he finds what he's looking for, the pot, and he takes it. And that really sets her off. He's like, well, you didn't pay for it, so I'm taking it back. I guess he's been getting her, pot off the street, and she didn't give him the money for it. So he's taking it back. That is what I am getting out of this situation. He went and got it for her. She was supposed to pay for it. She didn't pay him yet. And after this fight, I guess he doesn't think she's, gonna pay him at all. So he's taking it back from her. And she explodes now because she doesn't have her pot. On all her videos, all she's worried about is that pot. If she does not have it, she's going to come unglued. So now she starts yelling about not having her pot and how, her mother allowed him to go through her things and take her stuff. And she's like, no, I'm not going to have my pot. And she also goes, into the bathroom and she shows her mother's prescription medication. She basically doxes it, right? And says that her brother gets into her mom's prescriptions and shows it all. That's not something that she should have videoed and put out there for the world, but she does. And she starts screaming at her mom again. And when she screams at her mom, it is like an unreal, just at that point in time, I would have told her, you know what, get out. The way she was screaming at her mother was insane. Especially after her mother went and bonded her out, paid for it, with maybe the help of her father, and allowed her to come in the home knowing that she was going to cause issues. She knew this. Her mother knew it. This is not her first rodeo with her, clearly. So this goes on for a while with her screaming at her mother. So now she is, you allowed him to do this to me, to a pregnant woman. You allowed him to attack me. And, her mother is like, what was I supposed to do? Again, this is an elderly woman. And I guess she's had, because Laticia has put it out there, she has health issues. She's had surgeries. She's on medication. And I guess Laticia thought that she could get in the middle of it. And even her mother is stating, what was I supposed to do? How am I supposed to break up a fight between two adults or an argument between two adults? Her mother is talking very rationally, and Laticia is still screaming at her that she should have jumped in and done something, right? Over two siblings arguing over pot and a cigarette. So she's blaming it all on her mother because she can't control herself and the brother can't control himself. They can't work it out between the two of them. Like adults, because they're adults, they can't sit down and say, hey, I don't smoke and I am pregnant, even though, I'm smoking ganja all the time. I get it, pot can help with certain things, but Laticia is smoking it continuously. All right. Not just, here and there to help with anxiety or whatever. She's pregnant. She has to have it all the time or she is losing her cookies. There's a difference. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think you should be doing anything while you're pregnant. But she has to have it all the time. Or she is offering her body up. She will do anything for that pot. And if she doesn't have it, she is really losing it. Um, so again, she's blaming her mom for everything. You should have stepped in. You should have done this. She's demanding that her mom get rid of her brother. So, in my opinion, her mother is very calm throughout this entire situation. And it seems to me that if her mother didn't think that she might get in trouble, or, for Laticia not showing up, she would have told Laticia, get out. Get out. You're causing too much. If she, didn't know if she wouldn't get in trouble for her not showing up to court. And I think she really, she also loves her. It's her daughter, and she's worried about this baby. That's my opinion. What is she going to do? Because she is watching these videos. She's already put that out there. She's been watching the videos. And so Laticia then, she decides that, her brother assaulted her. She did nothing wrong. She didn't do anything to provoke this argument. It's always somebody else's fault. Everything is traced and tracked. Okay? Tracked and traced, whatever. And it's never her fault. Okay? Nothing is ever her fault. It's everybody else's. Now, I'm not saying that what her brother did was right. He should have not I can't say put his hands, he should not have had any type of physical altercation with her. At that point in time, when she started the argument, the best thing to do would have been to call the police. But she's already made the threats if the cops call, because I guess there is a warrant out for her. I said in my last video I didn't know. Or no, I think it was a video before that, if there was actually a warrant for the revoke of her release, or if they're just waiting until the 25th when she goes to court. But Laticia has put it out that there is a warrant. So I don't know if they're doing and not calling or not involving the police, because she has made the threats that she is going to unlive herself if the cops are called out, and they're really concerned about that. But in my opinion, when she started all of this, one of them should have called the police, and he shouldn't have done that. But it's pretty clear that she was not hurt at all. She basically just went back on the couch, okay? It's not like he hit her. I didn't see any headbutts, okay? I didn't see any at all. So this video is going to be a little bit short. We are going to go into my next video. We're going to get into what I am going to call the manipulation that she is doing to maybe stay out of jail. Because she decides that she is going to try to press charges on her brother for assault, even though she touched him too. And it was after, it wasn't like he did the body bump and then she assaulted him right afterwards. She waited until he was like standing there again, and then she did it. So it wasn't like she was defending herself. But then she decided, yeah, I'm going to go to the hospital too. So we're going to kind of wrap this up. This is just talking about the fight. It was over a cigarette, and it escalated into this big old mess. And then as it escalated even more because he took away the pot that he got for her because apparently she didn't pay for it. And it escalated, like I said, even more because now she didn't have any pot. And she's blaming it on her mother and wants her mother to kick out her brother. And basically, she wants her mother to change everything in the home to accommodate her. Everything has to be Laticia's way. Even the cooking, because Laticia is vegan. And, you know, nothing against vegan, and, you know, healthy lifestyle. But she wants everybody to change for her. You know, the food has to be cooked vegan, you know. I don't think her mother is vegan or her brother's vegan, but the food's got to be, you know, vegan food. She complains about germs all the time and bacteria. I mean, she can literally smell germs and bacteria under her fingernails or whatever she says. She complains about, you know, what the place looks like. And when she films, it looks like, you know, the place looks very nice. It looks clean. It looks, you know, pretty well kept. But that's still not good enough for someone that's been living in her car. She wants to complain because her mother may have allowed the brother to smoke in the house. And again, we're talking about someone that has been living in a car for the past 2 years and has been homeless, and someone is allowing her to stay in their home. She might not like it, but when you're homeless and, you know, you're given a place to stay, sometimes, you know, you just got to suck it up. And you have to go by their rules. So we will just catch you again on the next video.